On India Matters, the targets that Iran has been sending its missiles and drone into that nobody seems to want to really talk about because they don't understand the implications of it. As the second week of this war intensifies, crucial multi-billion-dollar American targets are being looked at very closely by Iran. They're damaging them, and this is raising alarms and sleepless nights back in the United States. I will tell you why this is the crucial story that nobody really wants to get into. On my second half today, the oil shock that is sweeping the world at this time. Oil is not well. It's a war shock that is quaking the globe. How bad could it get before it gets better? How is India prepared for it? I have some of the countries and the world's top experts joining me on the show tonight. Let's start with our lead story on India Matters. As the second week of this war trudges on, there's a part of Iran's retaliation strategy that isn't getting nearly enough attention, viewer, and it's keeping people in Washington up at night. Everyone is focused, as you know, on the missiles hitting US bases, the drones striking airports, the ships in the Strait of Hormuz, the oil fields on fire. But quietly, methodically, Iran has been taking out something far more strategically damaging to the United States. The radar systems that are the eyes and ears of America's entire missile defense architecture in the Middle East. And to some extent, it's actually been working. Now, here's what's been hit. In Jordan, at the Mufawak Salti Air Base, one of America's most critical regional hubs, loaded with American fighter jets, a radar that guides America's terminal high-altitude air defense, or THAAD system, was destroyed recently. That system was watching the skies over the eastern Mediterranean and the Levant for long-range ballistic missile attacks. It's lying in a burnt, mangled heap right now. In Qatar, a building-sized three-phased phased array radar providing full 360-degree coverage of the entire Gulf for American missile defense took a direct hit from an Iranian missile. This system costs over $1 billion according to some estimates. It doesn't simply keep an eye on Iran, it watches Yemen, the sea lanes, the Persian Gulf, everything. Damaged on day one, completely out of action. In the United Arab Emirates, across from the Persian Gulf, two THAAD radar sites of the United States, Al Ruwais and Al Sadr, were struck with such precision that satellite imagery shows both sites were hit almost identically. Now, these covered the lower Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz approaches. Near the Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, another THAAD radar site has been hit and is burning. And there are indications that Israel's Arrow missile defense radar at Sderot Mitzah was also targeted. Now, here's what makes all of this so alarming. These radars, and you probably haven't even seen pictures of them, these radars are the first link in an entire decision-making chain that is at the very heart of American missile defense in the region. They spot a launch, track the arc, classify the threat, and give the United States and its allied commanders the critical seconds needed to decide whether to fire an interceptor, and more importantly, what kind of interceptor. If you break that chain by damaging these very, very high-performance radars, the intercept rates could actually fall. Missiles could get through as they are. And in a worst-case scenario, you lose the ability to confidently tell a regional strike from something aimed at your homeland. Now, that compression of decision-making time in a crisis is where accidents and miscalculations could potentially become catastrophic. The widely respected American defense portal, the War Zone, has a lead story up on its website on what they say is a major wake-up call and deserves full credit for surfacing and reporting this story. Only 16 of the primary terminal high-altitude air defense radar types were ever built by the United States for that shield of missile defense in the region. For all its customers worldwide, they take years to replace. Each one of these radars that have been destroyed cost hundreds of millions, sometimes $1 billion each. And Iran didn't need anything exotic or high performance to destroy them. Cheap one-way attack drones and surface-level ballistic missiles have been enough to punch through these fragile arrays and take them offline potentially for months. A multi-billion-dollar air defense network unraveled by something that costs less than a second-hand car.
This is an ANTPY-2 radar, a powerful mobile radar system that acts as the eyes for America's THAAD missile defense. THAAD stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. It's a US system designed to shoot down incoming ballistic missiles in their final phase of flight, high in the atmosphere, by directly hitting them with its own missiles. The ANTPY-2 uses an X-band radar, the waves of which give very clear, detailed pictures of distant objects. Key ones include the ANTPY-2 radar at Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, sites at Al Dhafra in the UAE, and near Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, and others in the Gulf. These radars are crucial for spotting and following incoming threats, and their loss, worth hundreds of millions or more, is a serious setback. These attacks also create worries about running low on defensive missiles. Iran is sending large numbers of cheap drones and missiles to overwhelm protections. This forces the use of costly THAAD and Patriot interceptors, which each cost millions of dollars. The US has only 8 THAAD missile systems worldwide, with just 2 in the Middle East right now. If attacks keep coming, stocks could quickly run out, and replacing them takes a long time because of limited production. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Iran's decision to choose these particular high-value targets is obviously based on intelligence and based on the full knowledge of how important these particular radar systems belonging to the United States really are. Just take a look at where all these have been targeted. I've highlighted Iran for you. That is Qatar, where one of those radar sites has been hit. The other radar sites are in Saudi Arabia, they are in the United Arab Emirates, and they are in Jordan. This over here is Jordan. This is where one of those THAAD area defense radars has been hit. The other is here in Qatar. The third one is here in the United Arab Emirates, and there is a fourth that's been hit also in Saudi Arabia. So you've got basically 4 sites containing billion-dollar high-performance radars that together make up a kind of area shield, fueling and providing sensor data for targeting in a missile defense environment. And they are crucial to America's missile defense shield across the entire Gulf region. They've been either compromised, targeted, or destroyed as a result of this. And you've got satellite image after satellite image of these radars. I've got some file pictures of what these radars look like, but also satellite images of where they've actually been destroyed. This is the Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. This is a Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi where that radar site has been damaged. This is what those 3-faced radars actually look like. They are extremely expensive. It takes weeks, maybe months to actually replace them. And once these are out of commission, it seriously compromises America's ability to provide the region a comprehensive missile defense, and it also completely shortens the decision time for warfighters and American war planners to be able to intercept incoming missiles of any kind. And therefore, it gives Iran a greater deal of flexibility in order to expand the range of its attacks on other different places. You're basically trying to rip off a shield. Iran is ripping off a layer of the shield that America actually has to protect its assets and its allied assets in the region. That's what is really happening here.